Hello guys, Nigel here with you, back again to the bench and another review for you today. You've got lots and lots of videos coming lately with reviews and stuff. I had a surprise package yesterday that I wasn't expecting, and it's from good old Peter over at Airscale, and I had a look in this box and it's crammed full of 3D printed parts and photo etch, and yeah, it's lovely. In fact, it's so lovely I had to go and buy the kit to go with it. So usually you kind of do it the other way around, don't you? But no. So put that box to one side a second. Let's just have a quick look at what I had to go and buy. That was this. This is the Messerschmitt BF-109G2/4 from Revell in 1/32 scale. And I got this on Amazon for £26 something. It's a 2022 kit, so it's not very old at all. Nice CAD image on the front of the box. I've got the G6 version of this, and when it came out I got this book by Brett Green, who's one of the world's best modelers, and I think it's got a few little accuracy issues. It's got a few little silly foibles and stuff, and you used to be able to get, I've actually got one here, you used to be able to get the alley cap resin set to update it all, because apparently these bulges are too small and there's errors with the tail planes and all sorts of stuff. But I'm not sure how far those errors go and if they're rivet counting or what they are, but basically here we have a book all about how to build this into an accurate model of a G6 if you've got the G6 kit. That is the G6 kit there, you can see the boxing, and it said it's a brand new tooling in 2013, so it's 10 years old, and I think this kit is basically the same. As you can see, it's Revell's lovely end opening box, which we all love so much because they're so rigid and brilliant at supporting and protecting everything. So here it is, 1/32 scale, 184 parts, 28.4 centimetres in length, 31 centimetre wingspan, so about a foot. It's a level 5 for some reason, I don't know why, but it's a level 5, which seems a bit odd. And then going around the side of the box, you can see here at the kit number 03829, trying to keep the reflections down, and then going around here you can see we've got more about the kit there, and then on the back we've got pictures of the sprues, we've got some pictures of the actual model built, which is nice. A lot of people use CAD images. I would much rather see this because that shows you what you're actually getting rather than what the original designer wanted the tool makers to make. All the colours here called out in the Revell colours, and we got some basic tools there, paints, glue, knife and everything. So something that is interesting, if you were in Moss's live stream last night, you probably remember we were having a bit of a chat about Revell and everything, and I asked, is Revell still Revell GmbH? And they said no, it's Revell Carrera or something. Well, it looks like Revell GmbH still does exist, but in the UK it's distributed by Carrera Revell UK Limited, and in the USA it's Carrera Revell of Americas Incorporated. So there we go. So it is still Revell GmbH. So it's made in Poland, so it's going to be a Revell kit. Something for the newer modelers out there: when you look at your boxes of Revell, always look where it's made. If it says made in Japan, it's probably Hasegawa, so it'll be a really nice kit. If it says made in Korea, it's probably going to be Academy. If it says made in the Czech Republic, it's probably going to be ICM. And if it says made in Poland, it's probably Revell's own. So always worth looking up. And also, before you go out and buy Revell kits, it's always good to go back on Scalemates and have a look, because sometimes they do just rebox kits that are literally 50 years old, and you get this lovely shiny new box and you're thinking, you know, they'll say on here, new, and it's not new at all. And it does happen. I've got that 196 Saturn V, which I bought in, I don't know, 2019 or whatever. Probably because it was 50 years since Apollo 11 or something, I don't know. But it's got on the front new. It's actually a 1960s kit, so, or at least 1970s. So let's get this plastic sticker cut open on the end, and we'll have a look in here, and we'll have a very quick in-box review of the kit, and then we'll do the aftermarket to go with it, and we can have a look and see what we think of the plastic parts we're replacing. So we have in here 1, 2, 3, 4 bags, 5 bags of sprues. The clears are separate on their own, which is nice to see. We've got wheels and tyres and stuff in there. We've got our fuselage halves. We do have recessed panel lines with no rivet detail. And then we've got some separate sprues here, and we've got that one there is a double, yeah, so we've got a doubler there. So we'll have a look in there in a minute. Decals are probably going to be very nice indeed. They're either going to be Cartograph or that other company, is it Zanetti? You can always tell with a Revell kit. You have a look on here, and if it has a Z or a Z on there, that's Zanetti or whatever the company's called. If it has a C, it's Cartograph. So there we go. But either way, they're all lovely. They're all Italian. They're very, very nice indeed. Lovely decals. We don't appear to have any swastikas or the kit to make the swastikas, so we'll have to do those ourselves. I will have some masks actually from the wonderful one-man army sets for that. So there we go. So there's our decals looked at. So very quick look through the instructions. Nothing too much. Let's get this light moved out of the way. In fact, we'll turn it off completely to get rid of the glare. So let's have a quick look through here. Typical Revell with all their hints and tips and everything. This is all their bits and pieces, their legends about, you know, what it means, what you need to check and everything. And here you've got an illustration of assembled parts, right side, left side, all that kind of thing. And then going over here, they've got the glues, the recommended glues, and got the symbols and everything. And then here we've got the colour call-outs, again, typical Revell, only in Revell's own colour, and if they don't make something that suits, then they'll tell you to mix their paints. So go check your references, get onto Scalemates, you know, download a Hasegawa instruction sheet or a Tamiya instruction sheet of a G2, G4, and it will tell you all the colours in there. That's what I always do. And then here we've got the customer service bits and pieces. Revell's customer service is, in my experience, the best company's customer service on the planet. Not just models, everywhere. They're absolutely amazing. So there you go. So we've got sprue call-outs here. We've got our wings and flaps and all that all separate, which is a nice touch. We've got the spinner there, looks like cockpit sides. And then we've got our main fuselage parts. We've got drop tank there, engine covers, wing roots by the look of it, rudder. So we've got this clear parts, and I can't wait to see that one. You know what I'm going to pick up on there, don't you? So there we go. So into the instructions, building up the floor, putting in the rudder pedals, and then putting in the back of the machine gun breech, adding control column, building up the seat, adding the fuel supply line, and there's that one there, and then coming in with the trim wheel on the side. Got some actuators there, instrument panel with the gun sight go, so G2 or G4, only G4 for the longer one. And then we're adding all this to the cockpit floor, and then adding in the main spar for the wings, rear bulkhead that's going behind the pilot's head. We've got what looks like a brace going in there. We've got, this is part of the tail wheel structure by the look of things. Not sure why they've got that as an option, having it that way or that way. I'm guessing one is up, one is down. You'll have to check your references because there's nothing there that's telling you what it means. So obviously if you're having wheels up, I'm assuming that's going to be wheels up. But there's nothing here that says wheels up. So be careful with that one. So we've got this piece going in here. So we've got the G2 and G4, only G4. So obviously the G2 became the G4, did it? And then they made another one and it was just a G4? I'm not sure. I'll have to do some checking. I don't actually have any wing leader books on this particular subject. I've got the E's but not the G's. Exhaust going in the sides there before we put the fuselage halves together, telling us to drill some holes here, giving us the size and only for G2, telling us to look at step 73 there, and that's what that'll be for. Adding the cockpit and the spar between the fuselage halves, and then getting it all together, telling us to fill that recess there. So there we go, and then we're going to add the machine guns which sit above the engine into the front there, and then we'll have the cannon coming through the centre of the propeller, which is what we had inside. We've got the two halves of that air intake there going into the side of the carburettor, and then we've got some grills going in for the oil cooler or the radiator, whatever it is. I think it's the radiator, isn't it, at the front there. And then we've got some more coolers here. They probably are the oil coolers, or I'm guessing that's the oil cooler and these are the radiators. Not sure, don't know. All the interior colours here, and they're giving us G2, G4, G2, G4. So you've got your options there with your different wing parts. Then starting to build up the undercarriage bays in here, so they're nicely detailed, all in separate parts. And then we've got the that's going to be the radiator grille going in there, or is it going to be some sort of flap for directing the air? Very nice indeed. And then we're adding in the lower wings into the upper fuselage, which is quite a nice way of doing things. So you're going to add them on there, and then you're going to come along, you're going to fit these little edges for the air intakes, fit these panels in here, and then you're going to put the tops of the wings on. It's quite a nice way of doing things then, because you can concentrate on that joint. You know, the leading edge, if you've got a little bit of a mismatch, that can be sanded out and blended, but you know, you don't want to get your wing all beautiful and then find it doesn't meet the fuselage. But I have read that apparently this kit fit is lovely. So we've got our flaps going in there, inner flaps, we've got the outer flaps going in there. I have seen a few of these models displayed with these flaps down and these up, so check your references. And we've got some ailerons going in there. It's telling us not to glue any of these, so they're all movable, which is great for a £26 kit. I mean, it's bloody awesome, isn't it? So we've got slats open, slats closed. We've got leading edge slats there. Not sure if the G6 had leading edge slats. Yes, it did. And then we've got our lights there, and then we're adding on the top of the tail. So obviously this is going to be a different part for different versions. And then we've got the rudder going on here, and then we're building up our tail planes, adding in the elevators. Again, they're telling us not to glue them, so they're going to be movable as well. Hopefully they'll have a bit of friction and they won't just hang down. And then coming over the page, adding our tail wheel. So there's the G2, the G4 has the bigger tail wheel, obviously because they realise by then they need to get off in wet fields and stuff. Undercarriage legs looking particularly weak, I must say, but we could drill those and put a piece of wire in them, which will make them a lot stronger. Adding on the doors and then building up the other side, adding on the doors, building up the wheels. So we've got G2, G4, G4 only, G4 only. So we've got different wheels and tyres for G4, but the G2 can share the G4 wheels. So the G2 undercarriage going on there, the G4 undercarriage going on there, and then we've got, this is going to be the wheels in the up position, even though here they're showing you the wheels up, and there is the tail wheel down. So why did they have it earlier with the tail wheel up? Not quite sure. Check your references. And then here we've got the G4 again with the choice of the wheels up. Drop tank going into the middle. We've got that little that panel there which goes into the base of the wing, and then we're going to start on our clear parts. So we have Q53 and Q52. I can't see this because it's shining on. You can see it, I can't. Not quite sure what the difference is with those two, but I'm sure we'll see when we look at the parts. And then we're going to build up the main canopy, rear piece going in there, and then coming over the page we have cut off those bits for a closed canopy, fit the open canopy, going to build up our propeller and spinner assembly, add that onto the front, add the antenna, and we're done. And then here we've got again our colour callouts, all referring to those Revell numbers at the front of the book. Got the bright yellow band there, bright yellow undercover on the engine, telling us to put some antenna on there, which is nice. And then when I looked at this on ScaleMates and I saw this scheme, I thought, I gotta get this. Look at that. Look at that scheme. It's gorgeous. I'm not sure how much of it you have to paint. Yeah, all of it. So there you go. So that is all going to be painted, not decal. So there we are. So that's very nice. And you can see all the different colours on here. You've got the greys and the browns. You've got the green there. You've got the tan under there, the tan under on there, tan on the wingtips. It's quite a colourful little model. So there we are. So that's the instructions. Let's have a look at some plastic. Let's start with this little sprue here. Again, we've got these lovely Revell sellotaped bags, so they're easy to reseal. So there we go. So we'll get these out and have a look. So we've got this one here, a couple of propeller blades on it. Very nicely done. There's no, usually you'll see sink marks down in here. But it looks like there's no sink marks. Let's get the light back on now because we're away from glossy paper. Got some radiator grills there. So Yeah, all nice. You've got the great big lugs on them as well to make sure we get them in the right orientation, so that's very nice. We have wheels here which are very crisply moulded, and we've got a tail wheel there. But yeah, very nicely done indeed. And then here we have elevators, tail planes. I'm not sure if that's flash on there, if it's supposed to be. It looks like it's supposed to be on there. Elevators, tail planes. We've got some different wheels and tyres. So these are the disc wheels rather than the spoked. We've got those radiator panels in there. They've got a nice bit of moulding on them, as you can see. Rudder pedals there, bit of flash on there. Control wheel, or trim wheel should I say. And then we've got, that looks like parts of the undercarriage. Not quite sure what that is because it's covered in flash. It looks like these legs sticking out the side is all flash. It kind of looks like that when they made this the tool didn't close properly, and this one's exactly the same. So bit of clean up required on there, but hey ho, we're modelers and we've all got knives, so it's not an issue. It's a £26 kit, remember. So this bag here I'm not going to open because it's exactly the same, so no point in opening that one, so we'll put that to one side. Let's have a look at the clear parts. Those who know me, you know what I'm going to say. You know what's coming next, don't you? Let's get these two sprues out of here without getting hooked up on the sellotape. Right, so here we have the two different canopies, and I cannot see the difference. Okay. This one's got like come here. This one's got what looks like a sort of like an on-off handle or something on that side, whereas this one's got the intakes on both sides. That's the only difference there. But yeah, very nice indeed. They're pretty clear. You can see polishing marks on there where the mould tool's been polished. It could have gone a bit better. But no doubt you could dip it or polish it some more, or just completely replace it. It's very nice. And then here we have our armoured windscreen here. Here we have an assembly of flash, and I can't even see what the part is. It's looking like that's some sort of gun sight, but as you can see on there, there's so much flash I can't see what the part is. That flash is really quite thick as well. And this one here is the one that always makes me laugh. Revell have gone to the trouble of making this fuel line, which goes in the cockpit, from clear plastic, which is a fantastic idea, because what it is, it sits next to the pilot. You have the metal tube coming up, you have a couple of rubber tubes connected to a piece of glass, and a metal tube going away. So you paint this yellow or whatever colour it is, and you leave this bit clear. But I ask you, why on earth, if they wanted to do it, why on earth have they put the only sprue point along this length is actually on the clear part that you're going to see? Why didn't they put it there? Why didn't they put it there? Or why didn't they put it there and there and leave this for us to just polish? And you can also see that as this has come out of the tool, it's pulled it as well. So not only has it got a sprue nib on there, it's got to be straightened as well. But, that sprue is actually a bit of a mess. It looks like the tool, it looks like they've got problems with the hydraulics in their tools. They're not closing properly. So yeah, bad shout, Revell. Poor quality control as well, I guess. So looking here, we've got another couple of sprues. That's just a ejector tab. So here we've got our engine covers. As we've got nice detail for the supercharger in there. Got our wing roots here. That's one type of wing root, and then here's the other type of wing root. Okay, so the G4 has got fatter wheels, so it's got these bulges in the inner wings. Or as you can see, these are plain, so that'd be G2, that'll be G4. And then here we've got the top of the engine cover, we've got the sides. You've got these shrouds over the sides that keep the heat down. And undercarriage legs there, as you can see, we've got that piece on the top there, which is just unbelievably thin and going to be unbelievably weak. You can hear Jess growling beneath my feet now. But some lovely crisp clean moulding on there. When you compare that to that, you know, it's like it's chalk and cheese, isn't it? So yeah, very nice. Here we've got the rudder. Got some lovely fabric stitching detail on there. Got the tops of the tailplane, the tops of the fin, sorry. Or tail wheel, got the panels underneath, carburetor intake, radiator. So that's all very nice. No flash, no real sink marks, no silly ejector pin marks. That's all good. And then we've already seen these are our wing leading edges, wing inner edges, but we've got sink marks in there that need to be filled if we're going to go for them. Stop growling, Jess. And then our final bag has our main batch of sprues in it. So we can get all these out if it lets us. There's a part there broken off. I need to go. Let's get rid of that. Right, so here we have, this is our port fuselage half. That looks like it's probably broken. That looks suspiciously like it's the other side of that, or whatever it is. So we'll put that there. So here we have our outer wings. Again, no rivet detail. We've got rivet detail on the panels, but no rivet detail actually on the aircraft, so you might want to add that. So we've got our fuselage half. It's all very nice. Looks like they've had some bit of an issue with the mould tool there. There's a bump on there that needs to be sanded out. Not to worry, we've got moulded on seat belts here. They'll be coming off. Moulded on seat belts in the seat base. There's the headrest that's going, or whatever it is, the armour plate that's going into the cover. We've got our cockpit floor there, which looks nicely detailed. Got some raised rivet detail on there. Liners for the wheelbase. That looks like the control column. This is part of the throttle lever linkage. Got our instrument panel there, and that's going to be those leading edges of those air intakes. And then here we have our lower wings. You can see we've got rivet detail on the lower wings, but nothing on the tops. So that's a bit strange. We have side panels for the cockpit, very nicely moulded. Raised rivet detail all down the back there. Lovely stitching and that on those ailerons, very nice indeed. The air intake, which I believe is wrong shape or something. Got the spinner there with a separate back plate, so we'll have a seam to deal with on there. But yeah, 2013, so it's a 10-year-old tooling, BF-109, and they've taken off the 6. So they've managed to make a G2, G4 out of the 6. So there we go. And then final sprue. Here we have different wheel covers. Now these are the ones for the retracted undercarriage, and these for down. There's your main wing spar there. That's really nice because you get your wing dihedrals nice. Got this detail for inside the fuselage. Exhaust there. They don't have hollowed ends. We've got our main spinner there. Undercarriage bays. The top of the other wing. And obviously our starboard fuselage side. Again, we've got some lovely recessed detail for all our panels and everything, but no rivet detail at all. But yeah, very nice. And I'm kind of looking to see where that part's come from. This one here. It looks like it's come from there. Yes, it's come from there, look, so let's get those sprues out of the way. So that part there that's broken has come from, let's grab my tweezers. It's come from there, look. So that's how that was, there like that. So make sure we keep that piece. In fact, what I will do is I will grab a piece of masking tape and I will tape that. In fact, what I'll do is I'll tape it to the inside of that wing, because we'll do the cockpit before we do the wing, won't we? There we go. So that's going nowhere. Right, so that's the kit. So all in all, you know, for 26 quid, it is very, very nice indeed. You know, it's, at the end of the day, it's going to be a 109G6, and when we look at the competition that's out there, the cost of them against the 26 quid, you know, if all you want is a 109 on your shelf, then this is going to do you. If, like me, you're a stickler for accuracy and everything, you'll probably pull it to pieces and you'd rather go and spend 100 quid on something else. But you can get this book, and this book picks up on accuracy. I did notice in here, where is it? They talked about accuracy of certain parts and the resin replacements you can get. Here you go. But it did say in here, that's where I saw it, it said in here the overall fit of the kit is very, very good. So so there we are. So they're telling us how to, you know, fill in areas and rescribe bits and pieces and that. How to modify this piece, but the air intake is a bit inaccurate. You can see there's the kit one there, and then there's the Eagle Editions one. So, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice, but you can see what kind of beautiful job you can get with the cockpit just by adding a few bits and pieces to it. So let's have a look at what we've got in this box over Europe. So this has come from Airscale. As I say, this was a complete surprise. I wasn't even aware Peter was doing this. So here we have, for the BF-109G2 G4, we have hollow exhausts and MG131 sets. So we have hollow exhausts and machine guns. We have, listen to Jess, we have the BF-109G2 G4 seamless spinner. So this is basically a spinner. I'm guessing this is going to encapsulate that piece, so you can build it without having that seam in it down the back. So there's your spinner. It's probably, the kit shape is probably wrong as well. Normally 109 spinners in kits are wrong. Yeah, you can see it looks pretty wrong. So we'll have a look at that. We have some lovely BF-109G2 4 wheels and tyres, 660 by 160 wheel set. So they are very nice indeed, and we've got the tyre lettering and the ribs on the tyres and everything, and they're flat spotted, so weight on wheels, should I say. And then we have the 1/32 scale BF-109G2 4 cockpit detail set. If you can hear Jess grounding, she's got a new plastic bottle, and what she does, she is so possessive over her plastic bottles, it's untrue. And she's probably growling because I'm talking. And then in here we also have, if it wants to come out, come on. We also have the cockpit upgrade. Remember, this is Airscale Pro, it's not the normal Airscale stuff. So this is the cockpit upgrade for the Revell kit. And it's got highly detailed nickel silver instrument panel, rear deck and bulkhead, wheel bay liners, canopy framing and more. 4 one-piece decals, high fidelity replacement for kit parts. So it really is a proper little aftermarket set there. And then here I've got the Airscale Luftwaffe seat belts, which have got the separate buckles and the separate paper material in there. So let's have a look at all this little lot and compare it to the kit parts. So the photo etch cockpit set, all the other bits and pieces. Well, this is going to be a nightmare to get out, isn't it? I just know it. There we go, that was easy enough. Okay, so we've got our main nickel silver photo etch. It's not the usual brass. You can still solder it, but in a way I kind of prefer it because it's a bit harder. So it's a little bit more difficult to bend, but it's not like the Tamiya stainless steel stuff. It's not so bad as that. But it's nice because stuff like, you know, when you've got stuff like these radiator grills and these canopy frames, keeping them straight when they're brass can be a bit awkward. You just literally catch it and it's gone with brass, and once it's gone, it's gone. Whereas the nickel silver tends to be a bit more rigid. As I say, it's not as bad as the stainless steel. So in here we've got a nice sheet of acetate for our windows and our instrument panel, I expect. And then we've got a lovely sheet of decals, which are printed by Fantasy Print Shop. And there you can see we've got the decals there for the instrument panel and they build up in layers as well, so they're going to look really nice when they're on. And then here we have a paper template, and this is for cutting out our windows, because in here you could actually use the photo etched window frames and replace the plastic with acetate, so you get real proper scale thickness glazing, which is really nice. On here you can see, let's get it the right way up, this is PE32 GSV, and you can see we've got the instrument panel, there's the backing, and then there's the next piece, and then there's the next piece, and then there's the next piece, next piece, next piece. That's how it all builds up, so it stacks up. You've got the photo etched trim wheel there, we've got all our radiator grills, we've got our stitched linen liners, and the riveted aluminium sections for the wheelbase. Not exactly sure what that's for, the chain, we'll see that in the instructions in a minute. We've got rudder pedals, we've got the bulkhead behind the pilot, we've got the back of the cockpit where this is where the harness mounts. This is part of the floor, we've got new doors for the undercarriage, and then we've got the rear canopy frame, the windscreen and the main canopy frame, and then you've got all these bits to go inside it and all these shapers to go in there. So very, very nice indeed. And you got all these tiny little greeblies down the bottom, as you can see there. So feast your eyes on that. It's rather than just the normal Airscale cockpit set, this is actually a full-on set for the kit, and you get a lot of additional detail. Got cockpit rails there, look. So yeah, very, very nice. Very nice indeed. And you've got a big old set of instructions here. They're not always 100% clear, so have a good look and make sure you understand what they're saying. I did notice on here, push up the small tags on part 4 for seatbelt mounts, means part 24. And then you remove raised detail on heel board and remove triangular tab on the floor. Roll the rudder heel parts with a rod to round them. So that means the part that goes around, well, it's that way, isn't it? It goes around the back of the here. This piece here, you're going to roll that around so that it fits onto the back of the rudder pedal there. You're going to roll that so it forms a radius. And then we're building up the bulkhead with the seat and everything, and then we're adding this with that chain. So the chain's going behind the trim wheel. We've got a decal to go in there, another decal to go on there, and then here's all the the wheel bay liners and the new undercarriage doors. And then here's the other side, this is the right side one. You can see all the beautiful detail and decals that's going on there. And then there's the gorgeous instrument panel. That really is lovely, look at that. Very nice indeed. And then we've got the radiators, so I'm guessing whichever wing you use, it's going to fit both of them. And then coming over the page here, it's explaining all how to do the canopy and everything. You can add acetate, you can use the plastic parts, you can do whatever you want. This is not the sort of thing for beginners. This is for, you know, modelers who've got a few kits under the belt, who've had to play with photo etch. And remember, guys, with all this stuff, if you're looking at it, you think, oh God, I don't fancy doing those window frames and gluing that acetate and all that, you know. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Just use the plastic parts. It's absolutely fine. These are just, you know, it's there if you want it. And you can see there's the cockpit done with all the additional bits in it. So very, very nice indeed, and highly recommended because it's just all there in one set. The seat belts, I've shown you these before, but you can see that basically in here we have some like blotting paper material. You just cut those from that sheet and then you glue them together, you fold them all around as they're showing you on there, and you practically end up with working seat belts. They're very similar to HGW, it's just that material is slightly different. But yeah, very nice indeed, and we'll be using those on this. So staying with the cockpit, let's have a look in here. I haven't opened these bags yet, so I'm not exactly sure what we're going to come across. So this is 3D32CD, fragile parts, to safely remove them, watch our pilot training video. He has got a video on his website where it shows you how to remove the parts. So here we've got, you can see, beautifully made. So this is, you've got to guess what this is. There's no sort of real instructions because it's all sort of fairly obvious what it is. But there is our gun sight in 3D printed resin, and you can see it's got this lovely frame around it so it doesn't get damaged in transit. You just nip it off there and then just fit it in replacement with the kit part. And it's actually quite appropriate. I can show you this with the kit part. Yeah, there's not really a lot of comparison, to be honest, guys. There you go. There they are next to each other. I think it's obvious which one's better, don't you? I'm not sure if he's given us the longer one or not. We shall see in a second. I'm guessing you could always extend that one if you wanted to. So let's see what else is in here. So here we have the control column. I remember seeing the control column on one of our sprues. I think that's it there. Again, it's in this lovely frame. And we can compare to the kit part. You can see the 3D printed resin next to the kit part. No comparison. This one's got the wire on it and everything, which you can see down there, which is absolutely stunning. Got the fire button on the top and everything. So that's really going to make your cockpit pop. So that's our control column, control stick, whatever you want to call it. And then here, this is looking a bit technical. Very nice indeed. Again, it's got the Colosseum round it to protect it. So you can see here, this is our throttle lever. Now I did see this somewhere. Where did I see this? I want to do a comparison of the kit parts. That's not it, that's not it. I thought I'd seen this somewhere, but clearly I didn't. Maybe that's it there. I mean, this has got straight rods coming out of it, and this one's got a bent rod coming out of it, so maybe that's that one there. But you can see the difference. I mean, my part is broken anyway, so, and you can see that it's got this huge frame around it. All you do is you go around with cutters and cut away this outer frame, and then carefully cut away the inner frame. Start from the outside and cut in, and that shaft, that rod won't break then. But, yeah, go look at the website. It shows you all where it fits. We can see the beautiful lever on there at the top. You've got the secondary lever on, and just underneath it. Very, very nice indeed. So I'm guessing that replaces that part. And then here we have another major piece that's going to fit in the side of the cockpit. Come here, which is, I can see that part now, which is going to replace. So we've got that there. And I'm just looking at this. I'm guessing this piece here is separate. The piece with the two gauges in it. I'm guessing it's separate, but it shows it there next to it. So that's probably just how it's modelled. But it's probably quite obvious where all this goes. Otherwise he would have given you specific instructions. But if you just look at how fine that is, all that cabling, that is absolutely exquisite. And when you compare it to the kit part, not much competition really, is there? I'm sure that is the kit part, I'm sure of it. But yeah, no competition really. So that's that. And then finally we've got the seat base. Come out, please. It's got that triangular piece there, and I'm assuming that is going to go on the top of the headrest. So there you got your seat base there. The kit seat base is here. It looks very crude, and it has moulded in belts that would be quite difficult to remove. And as you can see, it's probably the wrong shape because Peter's done this a different shape. So you can compare those two together. So yeah, very nice indeed. And this is the good thing, you see, when the kits are cheap, you don't really mind spending a bit of money to get it up there with the others. Whereas, you know, when you've got a £100 kit or a £300 kit, and then you have to go and spend a fortune on aftermarket because the cockpit isn't up to scratch or whatever, that's when things get a bit annoying. But, whoopsie daisy. I think this kit does have a bit of a basic cockpit. From looking in the G6 book, it certainly would appear that way. So we've got these exhausts, and these I think are a must-have. Any World War II or, you know, any engine that has exhausts rather than jets, I think the exhausts are a must, because they're generally solid. They're generally moulded in two halves. Please come out. They're generally moulded in two halves, but these have got, as you can see, they've got the hollow ends on them, and they are beautifully moulded. They've got the weld seeds around them as well. So literally you're just going to cut these off and fit them. They are an absolute direct replacement for the kit parts. You can see there's the kit part there. You've got this flange on the back with a step in it. There you can see the step, and this has got the same. So that one there is basically just going to be their replacement. You can also see these are the wrong shape. This is the correct shape. So there we go. So that's that. And then here we have our machine gun barrels, and they are beautiful. They are lovely. Where's the kit parts of these? Is that them there? I'm guessing that's them there. So straight away we can see just how much nicer these are than the kit parts. So yeah, well worth having that little set. And Peter is very, very conscious of his packaging because a lot of this stuff is so very, very fragile. So he's very conscious that everything's well packed and gets delivered in perfect condition. So that's that there. And then we have here in the bigger bag, we have our wheel sets. So in here we have tyres. Please come out. Do we only have the one option in here? Yes, it looks like we only have the one option. So you don't have the, it looks like you don't have the bigger wheels, or you don't have the smaller wheels. Whichever way, you're not going to have one of them. But we can see on here you've got the flat spotted tyres, which are correctly angled, because the wheels, as you know, the wheels on the Messerschmitt don't sit square to the ground. They're quite cambered over. So we've got the flat spots on the bottom, which are angled, and then you've got all the ribbing on there, which is so typical of these tyres, and all the lettering, sizes and everything. Very, very nice indeed. You could easily come along with a sponge if you want to remove some of that ribbing from there to make the tyres look a bit more worn. But when you compare them to the kit tyres, I mean, yeah, there's no comparison. I wish I knew more about the subject so I knew exactly what he's replaced. I got a feeling it's those, because these are the other wheels, and they're just a flat disc, and he's included spokes here. So give it a rest, Jess. Jess. So there we go. So there's the wheel backs and there's the wheel fronts. And as you can see, very, very beautifully made. Absolutely gorgeous compared to those. I mean, there's the backing and there's the front. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Where's the back for this one? You see he's even bagged these separately, you know, it's very nice indeed. And then here are the little tiny wheel centers for the tail wheel. They're looking lovely. And compared to the tail wheel you've got here, and that's not bad actually, the kit part's not bad, but it is all in one piece. So you've got that there as a comparison. And then we have the actual tail wheel itself, again flat spotted, weight on wheels, whatever you want to call it. This doesn't appear to have any lettering on it, but it does have the ribbing on it, so maybe it didn't have any lettering on them in real life. Otherwise I'm sure Peter would have put it on there. Let me just have a look through the magnifier. No, there is no lettering on them, so I'm assuming there was no lettering on them in real life. But there we go, that's lovely. That's enough, Jess. That's enough. Sorry guys. Right. So that's like that. I won't bother putting all that away. And then finally, the final look we have here is the spinner. So this is quite a little set really. This is a seamless spinner he's calling this, so I can only assume that where you have the spinner on the kit is gluing onto a back plate. I can only assume that this one has a recess so this is going onto this back plate, and you have a seam there, okay, and also that shape there doesn't look too good, does it? So basically that's where your spinner is going to join. It's sort of 3mm along from the back. I'm also wondering about the shape. Did Revell get it right? Because generally 109 spinners are incorrect. It looks slightly bulbous compared to this one. I have to assume this one is correct because Peter is a perfectionist. But this is gorgeous. It's got all the fine rivet detail on there, which this one is lacking. And it's got a hole through the middle, which is much finer than that one. It doesn't have that ring of detail around there that this one's got, but maybe it's not supposed to. And then here we have, and wow, look at that. So I'm assuming you use the kit propeller blades. There'll probably be pictures of it on the website with it all built up around the kit parts. You can see on here we've got the clamping ring detail around the end of around the root of the propeller blade there. So that's going to go onto there. So that's got the other half of the clamping ring. Okay, so yeah, that's going to drop onto the top of there, like so. And then I'm guessing what he's done is kept, yes he has, he's kept this area in here clear, so you can put the propeller blade in just like you would on a normal kit, and that's it, job done. So very nice indeed, and that's going to give you a nice seamless, the only seam you'll get is the actual seam that's on the real aircraft at the back of the spinner there. So yeah, very nice indeed. It's not often I get aftermarket that I'm so impressed with it makes me want to go and buy the kit, but this one has done that, and it makes, I really want to build this, but I have so much other stuff to do in the meantime. I shouldn't have put all that together, should I? So there we go. So that has been the Revell 132nd, where's the instructions? That has been the Revell 132nd BF-109G2/4, and that is part number 03829 is the kit number. So go get yourself one from Amazon, it's a bloody bargain, and just think of the fun you can have painting that. That looked gorgeous, wouldn't it? And then from Airscale, we've had the cockpit upgrade, which is PE32 GSV, and you can go find this over at airscale.com. Sorry, airscale.co.uk in there. So that's that one, and there's a lot in there. It's not just a cockpit. It's called a cockpit, but it's not just the cockpit. And then here we've had, this was our cockpit interior 3D printed resin to go along with that, to really make your cockpit pop. So that was all the levers and bits and bobs for the side seat, and a yeah, you know what I mean, one of them. So there we go. So that's all very nice indeed. Then we looked at the exhausts and the machine guns. I think that's a must. Absolutely gorgeous. They'll look beautiful sticking out of your engine cover. Then we looked at the tyres. So we've got the tyres. There's only one type of tyre, whereas there's options for two in the kit. I think this is the bigger one, so that's interesting. So you'll be using the bulged wing, I think. In fact, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look to see which is which. So only G4 is the flat one, and G2 G4. So what he's done with this, he's given you the spoked one, which I believe is the smaller tyre. So you'll use the flat wing without the bulge, but you can build a G2 or a G4. Whereas if you'd gone for this, you could only build the G4. When you look back here, that's a G4, and that's a G2. So I want to do that one. I'm not sure how accurate it'll be. I'll have to check some references. But I'm thinking they did the G2, then they brought in the G4, and then they upgraded the G4 with bigger wheels and stuff. So who knows? So there we go. And then we looked at the spinner set as well, which was absolutely gorgeous. So all in all, lots and lots of toys to play with, and very nice of Peter to send them to me. So thank you very much, Peter. Much appreciated. I will put paid promotion at the start of this video because I was given all of this. However, I did buy the kit. So there we go. Thank you for watching. See you all soon. Bye for now.